Have you ever filled a bowl with water, gently lowered an egg inside, and just watched it rise to the surface? Like it suddenly changed its mind about being breakfast? It's one of those small, almost ordinary kitchen moments, but it feels kind of dramatic. One second the egg is sitting quietly at the bottom. The next, it's bobbing at the top, and it feels like it's signaling something has gone really wrong. Most of us have heard the old rule, right? If it floats, it's bad. But why?
What is actually happening inside that fragile shell to make it defy gravity? And here's the big question. Is a floating egg always a guarantee that your omelet plans are totally ruined? Well, today we are going to uncover the quiet science behind this everyday kitchen test. So let's crack this mystery wide open.
All this we are going to learn today on Everyday Simple Science with Ray. And hey, if you're new here, do us a huge favor and subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it, and help us reach new people who are just as curious as we are about the what, why, and how of the universe. To really get to the bottom of this, we're going to start our journey way back in time, looking at this ancient kitchen test. Then, we'll go inside the egg to understand its amazing anatomy, which, well, that leads us straight to the physics of why it floats. After that, we are going to tackle the big one. Is it safe to eat? And we'll even find out why an old egg can actually be a good thing in the kitchen. And finally, we'll deliver our final verdict on the float test.
Okay, first up, let's put this whole thing in perspective. It might seem like a modern kitchen hack you'd see online, but the question of an egg's freshness, well, that's an ancient one.
For thousands of years, eggs have been a total cornerstone of our diet. The ancient Romans even had a saying ab ovo, which means from the egg, to talk about the very beginning of a meal. They were so important in medieval times, people literally used them to pay rent. But think about it, with no refrigeration, how could you possibly know if an egg was still good? You had to rely on simple, practical wisdom, and the water test became one of the most trusted methods passed down for generations long before anyone knew the science behind it.
To really, truly understand why this ancient test works so well, we have to peek inside the shell. An egg isn't just a simple blob of yolk and white. It's a highly engineered biological system, and its structure, that's the key to everything. So let's start with the outside. The shell feels totally solid, right? But it's actually this complex barrier made mostly of calcium carbonate. And the most important word here is semi-permeable. It's not a sealed container at all. It's actually designed to breathe.
And get this, that number, that's how many microscopic pores can be found in a single eggshell. It's incredible. These tiny little openings are what allow the egg to breathe, letting moisture and gases out and letting air in. For a developing chick, this is obviously essential for life, but for that egg sitting in your fridge, this is exactly where the aging process kicks off.
Okay, so inside that shell, we've got multiple layers of protection and nutrition. Right underneath, there are two thin membranes that act as a second line of defense against bacteria. Then you've got the albumin, or the egg white, which is mostly just water and protein. And the yolk, the nutritional powerhouse, is held right in the center by these cool, twisted, rope-like strands called chalazae. The more visible those are, by the way, the fresher the egg is.
And now, we meet the main character in our story, the air cell. See, when a hen lays an egg, it's warm, about 106 degrees Fahrenheit. As it cools down to room temperature, the liquid stuff inside contracts. It shrinks just a little bit more than the rigid shell does. This creates a tiny vacuum, and air gets pulled in through the pores at the large end, forming this little pocket of air between those two shell membranes. This little bubble, this is the key to the entire float test.
All right, so we've got the anatomy down. Now let's connect all of that to the core physics of why an egg actually floats. This is where biology meets a fundamental law of nature.
The whole thing, the entire phenomenon, comes down to one single word: density. Now, density is just how much stuff is packed into a certain amount of space. An object sinks if it's denser than the liquid it's in, and it floats if it's less dense. A super fresh egg is packed with water and nutrients, which makes its overall density greater than water, so boom, it sinks. But as an egg gets older, something fascinating starts to happen. Its density begins to change until it eventually becomes less dense than the water itself.
So how does that density change happen? Well, it's a gradual four-step process. First, over time, moisture and carbon dioxide slowly escape through those thousands of pores. Second, to fill the space that's left behind, air gets pulled into the egg. Third, all this new air makes that air cell we talked about get bigger and bigger. And fourth, this is the most important part, the egg is actually losing mass. Water is leaving, but its volume, defined by that hard shell, stays the same. Less mass in the same amount of space means lower density. Simple as that.
And this chart illustrates the whole relationship perfectly. Specific gravity is just a fancy way of comparing an object's density to water's density, where water is a perfect 1.0. A fresh egg is well above 1.0, so it sinks and lies flat on the bottom. As it ages, losing mass and gaining air, its specific gravity drops. It eventually gets to a point where it'll stand upright because that now larger, lighter air cell is pulling the big end up. And finally, if its specific gravity drops below 1.0, it has officially become less dense than water, and that's when it's going to float.
So, okay, we've established that a floating egg is an old egg. But this brings us to the most important question for anyone standing in their kitchen. Does old mean rotten? Does it mean it's unsafe? Let's decode what the test is really telling us.
This slide right here is absolutely critical for understanding the difference. An egg floats mostly because of that big air cell from moisture loss. It's a sign of age, not necessarily spoilage. If it's been stored properly, an old egg can still be perfectly safe to eat. A spoiled egg, on the other hand, is one that's contaminated with bacteria like salmonella. And while bacteria can sometimes produce gas, that's rarely the main reason an egg floats. The key thing to remember is that the float test is an excellent indicator of age, but it is not a foolproof test for spoilage.
So the most crucial point is this: your own senses are your best defense. A floating egg that doesn't have any kind of weird odor and looks totally fine when you crack it open is very, very likely just an older egg. The real dangerous signal isn't the float test, it's the smell test.
Here is your definitive checklist, your ultimate safety check. Start with the float test, just to gauge the age. Then, and this is important, always crack the egg into a separate small bowl, never directly into your pancake batter or whatever you're making. Look at it. Is there any pink, green, or black discoloration? And finally, give it a sniff. A spoiled egg has an unmistakable, pungent, sulfurous smell. You'll know it when you smell it. If it smells bad, throw it out, no questions asked. Now that we understand the science and the safety, let's get into some practical kitchen applications. Because, knowing the age of your egg isn't just about safety, it can actually make you a better cook.
And what's really cool here is that older eggs are sometimes actually better. Fresh eggs have these thick, firm whites that hold their shape beautifully, which makes them absolutely perfect for poaching or frying when you want that nice, compact shape. Older eggs, though, have thinner whites and that larger air cell. That air cell creates a little gap between the egg and the shell, which makes them way, way easier to peel when you hard boil them. So that egg that stood up in the float test, that's your perfect candidate for hard boiling.
Of course, proper storage is key to slowing this whole process down, and refrigeration is by far the most important factor. But what's this intact bloom? Well, the bloom is a natural protective coating on a freshly laid egg. In the US, eggs are washed, and that removes the bloom, which is why they must be refrigerated. But in many parts of Europe, eggs aren't washed, so the bloom stays intact and they can be safely kept at room temperature for a while. It's a pretty fascinating difference in how we handle our food. So after our deep dive into anatomy and physics and kitchen chemistry, what is the final verdict on the good old float test? Let's bring it all together.
This is it. This is the single most important thing to take away from all this. The float test is not a magic badness detector. It is a simple, elegant demonstration of physics happening right there in your kitchen. An egg floats because it has lost mass as water and gained volume as air. That combination reduces its overall density until it's less dense than water. It's a test of age, and it's all driven by the science of density. From its thousands of pores to the physics of buoyancy, this simple egg really is a marvel of natural engineering. So the next time you see one bobbing around in a bowl of water, you'll know exactly what's going on inside that perfect little package. Now that you know the science, will you ever look at an egg the same way again? Thank you so much for joining us on Everyday Simple Science with Rhea. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, and be sure to turn on your notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive.